Hello, everybody. Welcome to our online conference.
Stop. Admitting.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful people.
Hi.
Hi, good morning. I think we are all here now. We can start. So good day, everybody. Welcome to our conference, online conference, our little reunion of Circo Balkana and the rest of the representative of circus scene in the Balkans, together with our friends from all around Europe. The name of the conference is Future of Contemporary Circus, Working Models, Possibilities in Current Circumstances. Just a few technical things. You can ask, of course, questions in the chat box. And we will, on the beginning, have the presentation of Stefan, Cecile, and Katrin. And then we will start a little discussion about the Balkan situation. The plan is we finish till 2:00 p.m. Now I would like to give a word to Stefan from Circostrada. Hello, Stefan.
Hello, Irena.
The idea was that Stefan present us the report Circostrada did in the beginning of the situation in March, when they collected the information all around Europe about the circus sector and how this pandemic, what impact we had. So please, Stefan, I give you my word.
Thank you, Irena. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the invitation, Circo Balkana, Institut Français, Théâtroscope. And it's really lovely to see all your faces, although I would be even more happier if I were in Serbia right now. However, I'm going to share my screen since I prepared a little PowerPoint for you. And I cannot share my screen, so I will ask to have the rights to share my screen if it's possible. If I can become co-host so I can do it. And in the meantime, I will introduce myself. So I'm Stefan Segreto Aguilar. I am the coordinator of Circostrada, and I'm also responsible for international relations at Artsena. And now I can share my screen, and it's beautiful. And this is the PowerPoint. So I chose this picture because it was the picture that we had for Fresh Circus last year in Osh, and I felt a little bit nostalgic. So I just used this one. So today's plan, I promise I'm going to keep it under 10 minutes, so don't worry. I'm going to just tell you briefly what Circostrada is. I'm going to, as Irena said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the survey that we did last spring. And I'm gonna share with you some resources which are available online. And I'm gonna drop some bombs for the future at the end of my talk. So what is Circostrada and what are its missions? So Circostrada is the only European network dedicated for circus and street arts. We aim at developing, empowering, and recognizing these fields. We were created in 2003. We have more than 120 members from 35 countries in Europe and beyond. We are coordinated by Artsena, the French National Center for Circus, Street Arts and Theater, and we are supported by the French Ministry of Culture, of course, and the Creative Europe program of the European Commission. What do we do? Our activities include meetings, conferences, seminars, labs, research trips. We create opportunities to connect and share, build common projects and grow, develop skills and competences. We provide free online bilingual publications in French and in English, and sometimes in other languages. And we create synergies with other European networks and develop advocacy strategies across Europe. So as you can see, my presentation was really short about Circostrada, so I don't bore you too much with this. So let's go down to the topic of today. what was the impact of the pandemic last spring? So we decided to launch a survey last March on the 16th for 2 months. Our aim was to reach out all of those organizers and events that were either canceled or postponed due to the pandemic. We collected 250 answers from over 100 organizations, both from artistic companies and festivals. The survey covered 25 countries in Europe and Taiwan, which is always a country very interested in contemporary circus. And we shared our results with our members, with EU institutions, and largely with the circus and street arts communities. I put the link of the infographic down there. I will share the links afterwards also with the organizer of this conference. So some images. This is the first data element that I can share, that 94% of all the events were canceled because of force majeure invoked by the government. It's a quite high figure. But what we wanted to know really was how this event, this 94% was divided. There were 20% of these events that were completely canceled, and 80% were actually postponed. And in the case of these 80% which were actually postponed, 64 of these cases were in a complete uncertainty because they didn't have yet a confirmation date, which means that basically the organizer told them, yes, we're gonna put your performance somewhere in the future, but we don't know when exactly. For the performances that were postponed, the average was about 7 months. 40% were postponed in a time frame between 0 and 5 months, 20% between 6 and 10 months, and 40%, which is quite a high figure again, between 11 and 12 months, which means basically that 40% were postponed to next year, to make it simpler. Another major impact was 14 jobs were affected per each performance. And when we mean 14 jobs, it's artistic, administrative, technical jobs on an average, of course. And on an average, it was a 15,000 euros financial loss. And of course, 100 of unmet audiences. We didn't calculate this because it was quite a risky figure to calculate. There is another survey which was running at the same period for contemporary circus school, which was led by FEDEC. I think they restarted it again. So it was quite interesting because they were just pinpointing on a map when the school were closing, when they were opening, when they were holding auditions as well. So this also is something that you can check out online. What I wanted to talk about also is what are the best resources available online. So there are some resources available online from the European Commission or the European Union. The first link that I put here is the link that lists all the financial support that you can get from the European Union. So it's quite a long list and it's quite tricky sometimes to understand. However, it's very easy because you have all the information on one page. And the second link is more of a resource platform that was created at the end of the summer to just provide some information and knowledge on where to find information, who to contact, and so on. But really what I wanted to share with you is this link. It's a resource platform for artists and cultural professionals that On the Move created ever since the 14th of March. They gather up until today more than 1,000 resources, which have been shared hugely online. We collaborated with them ever since the beginning because we tend to forget that at the very beginning, there was so much information going on. We didn't know anything. We just wanted to grasp and organize this. So we worked on editing all the information and just put it onto one page, which was, again, easier for anyone looking for something. Just to give you an example, this is how we structured the information, which is evolving day by day. So you have general advice, you have a chapter on campaigns and online petitions, you have statements by organization and networks, you have a whole chapter on governmental public bodies and also new funding schemes, which was really crucial, and it is still very crucial. And there is sector-specific information, some news also specifically coming from Asia, which were, because the Asian artists and cultural organizations were extremely active. And the last one that we created was about unlocking venues and audiences, which we created at the end of May, basically. So this is very useful. And if you don't know about this page, I suggest you go. If you don't know about On the Move, I suggest you go on the Move, because it's an essential tool for everybody working in the contemporary circus. So the future is now. So I'm sharing this image because the Nuit du Cirque is starting tomorrow, because also I've seen all the beautiful videos of you having a festival, which makes me really envious, and I really wanted to be there. Also saying that when we think about the future, we are not equal in the way we understand it and we act on the future. Also say that it is very hard to simultaneously be in a process of transformation and adaptation, which has to be on the short, on the midterm, and also on the long term. And also inevitably, when you need to survive, you don't necessarily make the most sustainable choices. And by sustainable, I don't necessarily only mean ecologically, but also ethically, socially, and artistically. So these were my 3 short bombs to drop, so Cécile can build upon on that. And merci beaucoup. So thank you so much. And I think I was under my 10 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you, Stefan. I have one question for you.
Yes.
In this situation last month, it's also obvious that the support that artists gathered and the organizations all around Europe, it's not the same. For example, in Germany, as we know, they have a quite good support that the artists can continue to be an artist. In Balkan, of course, our region is totally different because we are not recognized and there is no real support for our artists or producers, technicians, and so on. So I wanted to ask you, is there any plan in Circostrada to gather also this kind of information, how different states helped cultural workers and artists during this time? Because it could be a good advocacy tool also for the countries where we don't have this kind of support.
Sure, definitely. So there are 2 concrete things that we did and we keep doing. So first of all is to make sure that when we talk about culture, we talk about performing arts. And when we talk about performing arts, we talk about circus. This is one of our aims. And we are quite successful in doing this at the European Commission. And I'm going to give you an example why. And the second action was a collective action that was led together with many other European networks. We were, I think, around 100, 110 networks to push the parliaments to actually have a higher budget for the Creative Europe program. So first of all, the first battle was to have a dedicated program within the European Commission for Culture. We succeeded in that, but we're not the only one. I mean, we're all working together because this is a collective strategy. Then the second step, once we got it, was to actually have a higher budget. So we wanted to double the budget of Creative Europe. We didn't succeed to double the budget, but we had a confirmation yesterday, and it's all over the news, that the Creative Europe program has increased by 57%. Which doesn't seem a lot in the overall budget of the European Commission, but for us is a lot. So even though it's not, it's still a good news because it's a budget that is going to work for 7 years from 2021 to 2028. So this is what we're doing. As far as the first point that I was mentioning, I don't know if the information reached you. but in the summer, there was a call by the European Commission to actually provide a new scheme to rethink touring for performing arts. Okay, and this was in June, July. I think the scheme will be operational beginning on next year, but clearly circus was mentioned in the text, and Circostrada will be involved in this. I cannot say much more about it right now because it's not super official yet. But what we do at the European level, is to make sure that everybody thinks about circus when they think about performing arts, and they think about contemporary circus. So there is no mistake about it.
Thank you. It's really good. I also saw the news yesterday that the Creative Europe will go 50% up in next 7 years. That's really good news. Now we will talk with Cécile. Hello, Cécile. Cécile is director of Circus Next. So I give you my word.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you very much for having me. Just like Stefan, I wish I could have been there with you. But as you can tell, I'm in my new office, which is my daughter's bedroom. So doing this from my own private studio. If I can be made co-host, I will share a few slides with you. Okay. So do you see my screen okay? Yes?
Yes.
So, as Irena said, I'm Cécile, director of Circus Next, which is a European platform, a multi-annual project that is supported by the European Commission from 2017 to 2022. We are the sole platform that is dedicated to circus and supported by the European Commission. So we work very closely with Circostrada, and we're very complementary to one another. A little reminder of what Circus Next is and how it usually works. Circus Next is coordinated by our team in Paris, and the platform gathers 25 plus members across Europe and a few partners also from other continents. And our goal is to select and support emerging creators of contemporary circus. And as you can see, our program is based on a selection process and on support to the selected artists. And our support program is mainly based on mobilities. So the artists are hosted by the platform members for residencies to work on their creation progress, to showcase their work in progress to local audiences. And platform members also host the artists for regular touring once their shows are finished. We try and foster cross-border mobilities so that artists can discover other contexts, broaden their professional network, and meet other audiences. So that's when the situation is normal. As everyone else, we've been faced with lockdowns and cancellations since spring, a few postponing as well. And we in Paris, we try and keep posted about restrictions in terms of borders closing, venues opening or closing, the possibility to host audiences or not, and how many people at once, the possibility to work on stage or not for residencies for the circus artists. Basically, just like all of you, I suppose, flexibility, agility, and resilience are our new keywords. So we are trying to adapt the support and the follow-up that our platform members do for the shortlisted artists. We have organized a video pitch session in May because we're supposed to gather all together for the selection week in May. So we offered the artists to present their creation project through pitches and videos online. We invited the platform members and further professionals so that they could get to know these artistic projects. We in Paris also regularly gather information from the artists themselves on their creation processes and their needs, so that we share this with all the platform members who can then try and support them at best. We organize more meetings and online dialogues than we used to between platform members and the artists, and also among platform members, so that we keep the European cooperation alive. And we are working on proposing video recording of works in progress when the artists can actually be hosted and present their work on stage, so that these videos can be shared then with the platform members, possibly with further professionals from the sector who could support the artists. And if not, when possible, and if the artists are okay with that, we could share these videos with the general public on Facebook or by other digital means. Considering the new restrictions, the lockdowns, the difficulties to travel, or the fear just to be stuck in a foreign country, we will foster local hosting. We will encourage our platform members to host artists from their own territories and to gather their own professional and local network to support the artists on their territory, which would also be a way to enhance the local awareness of local professionals about contemporary circus. The possible developments that we see despite this situation that is very, very restrictive for many artists and putting them at risk is these new ways of working that we hope will go on developing and maybe add to themselves to the regular work that we do. Is that we see an opportunity to have more regular European cooperation through online meetings. We know that incentives to take care of the environment as well is also very present in the next Creative Europe program. So we think that COVID will push us to invent new ways of cooperating, both physically and online. And also another development that we see that I've just mentioned is that we really hope that local professionals will gather together with, whether they work in the contemporary circus field or not, that cultural professionals will gather to support local circus creators and thus be more aware of what contemporary circus is. And maybe support it even more. And we also hope that with these new practices we're trying to develop, artists, but also professionals, will have a better use of videos. And we really hope that emerging artists, but also more experienced artists, can really take advantage of recording their work on stage when possible, so that they can share this better with further professionals from across the world, and also from audiences, so that they may maybe discover other disciplines or another side of circus that they might not be aware of, because we know that circus is still suffering from quite a few cliches, even in France. So we kind of hope that despite this extremely difficult situations, we will develop these online tools and practices that will never replace physical contact, but that will be an add-on to our regular work that we have done so far. I'll try to keep very, very short so that maybe I can answer questions if need be. I thank you all and take care.
Thank you, Cecile. It was really a nice presentation because we could hear how was on the beginning, and we are now already facing the second time the same situation as this spring. We are already having, it was nice to hear from you what could be the further steps and how we can work together again. That is on one way the topic we would like to talk today here about the models possibilities in the future if this situation continues, and what we see now that many venues again close. A little bit my question for you could be, what is the feedback of artists? How do they adapt? It's something new for them for sure in this situation, but how do they adapt to this new situation?
Well, I have to say that we have seen waves in their morale, right? So they were first optimistic on the fact that this would last 2 weeks and then it would be over and life would go back to normal. Then they had a backlash thinking, okay, we're in lockdown for like 2 months and we cannot work anymore. They got really worried about getting paid, because even though we do have a system in France, we know we're very privileged to have it, and many artists across Europe don't have such an employment system. Then it reopened and optimism was back again. When we organized pitch sessions and meetings, they felt quite elevated by it and motivated again. And since then, it's been like this. It seems that they have very down times, and then when we talk to them or when they talk among themselves, because we create also these kind of moments, spirits go higher. And this impacts a lot the way they work, and they can work, of course. So they are adapting because they, for some of them, did work even though it was not totally legal to do it or not totally open for their work, even without audiences. But we see that their mood has a very big impact on their way of approaching their creation process. And that notion of filming themselves to use video tools, I feel it's the same thing. Sometimes they're very happy and open to it. For example, indeed, for Nuit du Cirque here in France, we had to go totally digital, and the artists we work with all responded very quickly and happily on us using their images to broadcast them during this weekend. But they're always in the hope that physical work can happen on stage and in front of an audience. And I'm afraid we're going to have new waves of, backlashes like this, when they're going to have to, yes, admit that they have to film themselves and use this as a professional tool. But I think with time and with our help, because we are going to put means so that they can film themselves in good conditions, maybe they'll see it as a tool that is for now replacing contacts, direct contacts, but as maybe also something that they might be able to use differently and in the future.
Thank you. I would like now also to present, before we go to talk with Catherine from French Institute here in Serbia, because we are on this subject, how artists feel in this period. Today we have here with us in the same room, I have Frédéric, and here it is, and Nicolas, and also Christine. We are very happy that we managed on our festival to host at least one group, foreign group from France. Thank you for coming to our festival and for being brave to come here and to perform. It means a lot to us. I would really like to ask you how you are artists, how this whole situation, how did you face all of this situation in the creation of your art? Just a second, we have a technical problem, but now Frédéric and Nicolas. Ljudi, idemo. Come closer, because
stay here. The question is about the creation or is about the diffusion of the show?
both. I mean, how this influence on your work,
Okay.
how this situation, I mean, you find yourself in a new situation, what was the possibility to work and to create?
Okay. So, hello everyone. I'm Nicolas from the company Les Hommes Penchés, the French company. And we performed here in Circostrada 3 days ago. It was a real pleasure to be on stage because in this moment it's quite difficult to be on stage. About the question, actually, I was not in Croatian the last months between lockdowns and everything. So for us, it was at the beginning just an impossibility to do our shows and all the diffusion that we had. Actually, Christine worked so much, like all the administrator and diffuser of different companies, to try to keep the shows going on, but yeah, it was at the end impossible. For me, for the adaptation, first of all, I had the chance to be locked down in my house, which is also a residency space. So we were so lucky because we invited like 10 friends and we were 15. Yeah, we don't have to say it too much, but we were 15 in our residency space actually. And like for 1 month, it was about training together, sharing, because we were dancers, we were circus people, we were some photographs too. And we were a lot of different persons. And like for the first months, we were really happy to have like this space to share and meet differently with, I don't know, to improve like this awkward collective coming from, we don't know where, but that just happened.
Sorry, Nicolas, sorry to interrupt.
When we saw the situation going on and like who will not calm down, we began to have like, I speak louder. Okay.
Yes, please.
When we saw that the situation was going more and more difficult and more impossible to show our works, after 1 month and a half of lockdown, we began to be a bit depressed. I think so. And the thing is that the training and the body train that we need began to be not as comment tu dis ça? Fuck. Regular maybe. So when like we could come back maybe 3 and 4 months after, it was a bit difficult to keep on going and to be prepared for what was going on. And actually we were lucky because we had a space to train, but a lot of people didn't have this possibility. Yeah, I don't know what to say really more.
Maybe how in emotional sense, in creation, can we say, are you damaged? I mean, do you feel this, let's say that this depression or a worry about what is happening and what will be, how this influence on your creative thinking?
I think there were waves because in a moment we trained a bit, and after I was like, why I'm doing this training if I'm never gonna present shows and be in a stage with public? What's the meaning of this? So I changed something and I began to build iron Chinese pole. So for like 2 weeks, I began to do different type of Chinese poles. So yeah, I think I could, because I had the possibility to have an atelier, my creativity was to something more concrete, that I can build and see what's going on. And so yeah, there is like moments that you're really into doing something, but the things that I built, like this new agré, which is a new tiny Chinese pole with like small parts, it's when I began to rehearse with it one more time, I was like, okay, that's a good idea. I could do a show with it and begin to work in a creative way. But it's like, one more time, do I have to do it now? Because even if I begin, I will never have the possibility to show it and share it with the public for the moment. So I don't know, it's like going in a small and intense moments, and after you like thinking, going, is it really the moment to I don't know, we can share it. Yeah, create. But Frédéric have a lot of more to say, I think.
Hello, everybody. I'm Frédéric, and I meet all this team with Un Loup pour l'Homme. Now I'm on my own creation, and I think for me the clue was to always try to stay positive. It can be a bit cliché like this, but it's very, very important for me. I mean, all what happened, all what I hear from the outside is so heavy, and I'm always trying to, from the inside, trying to see the possibilities that is around and not what I don't have anymore. And like, I don't see that video for me is an option, because I trust that the physical contact is why we are doing that, like, definitely. And I mean, I trust that in the future we will be able to do it, I hope soon enough, that we will not lost half of the people on the way. But I'm kind of trustful with that, and with our skill to, I think circus artists are really good into adaptability, and we have to use this skill as as more as never before. And because this wave is so huge, like, we cannot go against, we cannot say like, okay, I will just try to go what I was doing before, and everybody will be, I mean, yes, everybody will be okay, but we have to go with the flow and just take what it's here. And I mean, I think the law, the government, what the government is saying to us is quite I think it's quite open still, and we have to take the space in between. I mean, to train and to maybe to show something, we have to invent. And I'm really curious to see what will come after all this. I'm quite trustful that the people will invent things quite incredible. And, yeah, it's almost quite inspiring, this défi of adaptabilities for me. It's like a challenge. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing with us your emotions and this situation. Now we continue. We will talk with Catherine, the cultural attaché in French Institute here in Serbia. Our supporter. Thank you for your support, and also thanks to Teatroscope. Also the last many years, I mean, Circo Balkana as a festival, as a company, could work and bring great shows here in the region. A question for Catherine is, you came last year. It was also Circo Balkana Festival. We were part of the bigger BITEF festival. And let's say that now, after a year, what could be your reflection on the situation here in Serbia and in Balkans? And please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Elena, and thank you everyone for being here and for organizing this meeting, because I think that's really what we are doing in the Circostrada program, and what you are doing is very useful to create, to strengthen the network, but also to create an advocacy for circus in the region. And that is, I think, what we are trying to do, definitely regarding local authorities, but also regarding Europe, and with the help of Circostrada and Circus Next. You told exactly, you are talking about the last year, and I think that, well, I was preparing some kind of presentation of Circostrada, but I think that everyone here at least knows the program. We could also share with the audience more information to explain what we do as a support for diffusion, touring, and in the region, as creating opportunity for professional meetings, and encouraging collaboration, and also supporting educational program. But still, what is very important now is really, I think that to think on the future, it's also to look at the past and look at the way we already have done from the beginning of our collaboration between Circostrada and Circo-Balkana, and now where we are. Perhaps it's important to remember that I remember a first meeting, I think it was in 2016. I was at French Institute in Paris at that time, and we were meeting with some people from I don't remember who exactly, but it was in La Villette, and it was with my predecessor, Anne-Lorraine Bigourou, and we were talking about how and where to buy a tent. It was this moment. And I remember this with a very, very kind emotion, because it was the beginning of something. And I think that the tent didn't come at the end of the day. It was not from France, but from Italy. I don't remember what was exactly the situation. My colleague Vanessa Sylvie was in charge of circus at that time, but I was working with her. And what we saw afterwards, what happened, the very strong collaboration with Un pour l'Homme, as with Ride and Camp. It was very important to begin like this kind of cooperation with a lot of partners in the region. I think that it was 12 steps in the region. So gathering people who were not in the circus in Circo-Balkana at that time, and that became to look at the network and to look at what you were doing here. Then what happened also, it was this collaboration, very strong collaboration with Un pour l'Homme, and I saw yesterday that this collaboration made something very important in the way of Circo-Balkana is creating. So it's important to see that really there are really a lot of consequences. And this collaboration in Light in the Suitcase, which is the work that you are doing together with them, and will be created tomorrow. Also, what is important is to say that afterwards, what happened? The Creative Europe project with Plus Petit Cirque du Monde, between you and them, And this is also a way to gather people looking at the region. Well, the project was not approved, but we can think on how to continue in that. And at least at the end, it was also this collaboration with BTEF last year, which was very important to connect Circobalcana and BTEF and to give a legitimacy to Circobalcana toward the local authorities here in Serbia, but also outside. And the connection that you did with Circus Next and Circostrada is also very important to advocate for the local network, the regional network, let's say. I think that there is also what Frédéric said just now regarding adaptability of circus artists. The work of Circostrada that I saw yesterday shows us exactly that, how adaptable and how the circus artists are able to face risks, because circus is risk. So what we can do now, I think we should for sure continue advocating for circus. Here in Serbia, what I could see, it's that it's not enough to say, like you said, Stefan, culture is performing art and performing art is circus. Here in Serbia, we should say, and perhaps in France as well, creative and cultural industries are performing art, and performing art is circus. Because we see that the attention of local authorities in France, in Serbia as well, and in the whole region is really oriented to ICC. So that's the question. How we do it and how we continue showing that economically circus is important, is a very important field to invest in for development of audiences. It is important, but it is important as well to strengthen simply the artists and the scene, the independent scene. So the connection with the big institutions here in the region is very important. How to connect with theaters, national theaters and city theaters that could be able to finance circus could be something. Also to grab on the ECOC is very important. And we have here in Serbia, Novi Sad 2021, which is a good way to advocate. And I turn my attention to Beba, who is there and who knows how important it is to connect and to be with them to advocate for circus. And perhaps the conference that we are working on, and you are working on, Beba, for next May 2021 could be a step to continue advocating and to show the connection that are stronger and stronger between the region and Europe, or between the region and France in our case. I should say that what I saw yesterday regarding collaboration, I should say that what I saw yesterday as a gathering of artists here was very important, because Frédéric is from Un Loup pour l'Homme, who was in the Ride and Come project. now the Instable team is also interested in collaborating with the region, and we already have an idea of some workshops in Subotica for next year. Sorry, I don't remember. There is something else that I saw yesterday, which was, and Nemanja is someone also very important. So to be gathered with, to be the connection with the French scene because of the project of Kitsu Dubois. Sorry, I need to admit, oh, my colleague Vanessa Sylvie was there and she left. I need to admit her next time. Advocating is showing how important circus is becoming in the region. We have this conference in May, and we should start to establish a strategy on that, I think. We have BTEF next year, which will be at this, simultaneously with ITM. They will host ITM plenary for next year. So this is very important to see how Circo Balkana could be very visible in this moment. And we have also the question of Creative Europe, what we can do with Creative Europe. Perhaps, and for sure, applying a new project for with Plus Petit Cirque du Monde and all others. But also perhaps something like a local version of Circus Next could be very interesting, and a local version of Circostrada. Or, I mean, it's an idea, I'm just brainstorming here, but it's a question that I feel that it is important to, for the local authorities and the governments in the region to have some connection with Europe and with big programs to show the importance. So that's it. I will finish my speech and give you the floor again to answer my questions, because there is a lot of other questions to be discussed.
Thank you a lot, Catherine, for your talk and ideas, what we could do in the region to improve the situation in circus field. Stefan, you wanted to answer, to say something?
Yes, not answer, just to add something to the table, very concrete, which also can be shared by Antonia Kuzmanic, who's a member of the steering committee of the network of Circostrada, by the way, is that we are right now finishing our project of Circostrada, which is going to finish in August 2021. So we're thinking of what's going to happen next, and we're thinking about what could possibly we could do between September 21 and, let's say, August 25. So we're really thinking about that. And of course, we have not only a lot of ideas, but a lot of desire to do something in the Balkan region. So I'm just going to leave it like that because it's not concrete right now. But definitely is something that we want to do. And so for the contemporary circus, and we will see how this translates into reality. But if you have questions afterwards, you can also ask Antonia or me, or we can write each other. So that's just one concrete thing that I just wanted to put on the table.
Thank you. I'm sure we will have lots of ideas for you. I would pass now the word to Beba, to Mira in Novi Sad, because I think from my professional experience that the ECOC city could be very helpful in at least growing the visibility of our sector. So I would like Beba to ask you, what are the connections with Novi Sad 2021? What is the position of circus inside of the program that is planned for next year? And how do you feel that, let's say, that is there any change in Novi Sad cultures field regarding circus? Did the ECOC bring some new possibilities for you?
Hello, everybody. Our organization, Ludifico, is first time this year as a partner on a big project with the European Commission, which is a quite good thing. ECOC agreed to be associated partner on that project, so they are willing to support that project, and it's called Beta Circus. You have probably saw the open call is ongoing now, and in that project we are planning that advocacy seminar by the end of May, in which ECOC are quite willing to cooperate, and so to try to bring real decision makers here from Serbia. On the one hand, that's one project. When it comes to the other things connected to the program and circus in their program, we have also a lot of plans for next year, but maybe it's going to be postponed for 22nd, because actually it's not going to be next year. The year of title is postponed for 2020 here in Novi Sad, so we have one year more. So we are speaking about having Kice Dubois and Nemanja's Écoute Expansion work in progress now, but when they are finished, and to do workshops and to have the show there, and some more also shows to have. So they are moving forward in willingness to support circus scene, but still it's not infrastructural. It's more like supporting some projects, and what we actually need is more of infrastructural support. I think it's nothing still happening with the space which they have been promising to us. It's still just being promised, but we didn't get anything, any contract or any formal confirmation about that. So I'm not sure that it's gonna happen, or that we should still think that they are gonna support us in that way. But there is a big Chinatown where Circo Balkana used to be 2 years ago with the tents. That part of the city is whole being renovated in order to be like a cultural district. And we really don't know what's going to happen with that. We don't have faith in that it's going to happen. So maybe that is one question that should be also put on the table in that seminar advocacy, because I think that only ECOC is a big player that can provide actually a big circus place. If it doesn't happen now, I'm not sure that we have a chance like that, because there is, I know which hall it is. It's like 200 square meters, 10 meters high. Like it would be perfect for circus, but this is Serbia. We just don't know how to push it, how to be smart with it. So any ideas are welcome.
Thank you, Beba. Maybe Katrin would like to say something. You need to unmute yourself again.
Yes, sorry. Thank you, Beba. And really, I think that this seminar in next year will be very important for that. I will add that what I said regarding Nemanja is that he's in his Instagram. It's really this this project could be something also to tour in the region. As other projects that are going on with Novi Sad 2021-2022, there is XY, which is a very big project that they could perhaps host in 2022. So the plan is to welcome them also in the seminar in order to check what are the possibilities for the project. What we can do as well is inviting journalists from France to be part of the seminar. I am completely at your disposal, Beba, to discuss on that. It will be worth also, Theatroscope could be partner, associate partner in the Creative Europe project. I think it could reinforce the collaboration with ECOC on the circus, and I would like to focus our cooperation on circus with Novi Sad. So let's see. And we could be also part of this advocacy for this infrastructure. So we could perhaps have a meeting with them and discuss this. So feel free to organize that, okay? But really, I think that connection with also with the French places that that were the pôles nationaux des arts du cirque. It's very important. So the connection with Plus Petit Cirque du Monde for this conference should be really useful, I think. And also perhaps everything that we can gather from France, and that people that are already aware of the situation. So I think it's a question of layers, one after the other. So let's work on, and I think that it will be really very useful. Something to add, sorry, not to be long, but Timișoara is also a possibility to grow partnership, because they are very interested in not only circus, but participation on participating projects for circus and for public spaces. So that's it.
Thank you, Catherine. It's nice to hear all of these possibilities, especially connections with ECOC. Maybe it would be good that we have some kind of strategic meeting for a region, and I think it's a time that we see what are our priorities in the next period as a region. I would like to, I saw, Antonia, you raise a hand, but I also planned now to talk a little bit with you. You are coming from Croatia, and you are also part of the Circostrada board. So you could tell us a little bit, you're a long time already involved in circus as an artist, as an organizer. Maybe we could hear from your side about how you see the links between Europe and our region, and also we know that in April you planned a first festival of contemporary circus in Split, but it was postponed, and it happened in September. It was really nice. We were all there. So I give you a word, and you are free to say.
Hi to everybody. Nice to see you, and nice to meet Catherine and Andrei in this way. My name is Antonia. I'm from Room 100 from Split, Croatia. So I started 10 years ago as an artist, and we were lucky to get selected with the first creation for Circus Next. That was at that moment Jeune Talent Cirque Europe project, and it really turned around our life. So we were touring for 5 years, and we were also invited to be part of next edition of Circus Next. So we were I was in the jury, in the international jury, first as a member and then as a co-president. And in 2015, we decided to start a residency venue here in Split that is hosting international and regional artists. We had around 60 artists since now. And from this project, we decided that in 2020 is a good year to start with a festival. So we have a festival 2 months ago. I'm also in the Circostrada network as a steering committee member. I would like to really talk about what is going on and what are the opportunities for the sector at the moment. So as a member of Circostrada, I find my position there actually to really advocate for this part of Europe. And in Paris in March, just before the lockdown, we talked about the next Creative Europe project. And we are talking about how to bring all this amazing organization and knowledge and advocacy to Croatia and Serbia and to the Balkan region, because I think, and I know all my colleagues here agree, that actually this is a very important organization as like Circus Next, and it will help us a lot if we manage to bring it in some way here. So I'm not going to go more into it because it wasn't officially decided, but I really, really hope and I believe that something is going to happen, and Stefan is nodding. So this whole thing is coming to Balkan region. I think it's going to help us the most in a way that we have this not so amazing communication with the Ministry of Culture in Croatia. And I think the same is in Belgrade, I mean in Serbia. So this amazing amount of knowledge and organization and know-how is going to be presented to them. So we are not some freaks that are doing something with contemporary circus that is completely normal and like the same quality of performing arts as like theater or dance. A part of that, I think we have a really, really strong communication between different organizations in Croatia and Serbia and Slovenia. We started with the COVID crisis. We started here in Croatia this idea of making actually a national association for contemporary circus artists, because we couldn't access any of the COVID crisis budgets, because we don't have a status of an performing art. We are all working as associations. So we decided that, I mean, we know about this problem for many years, but this was actually a moment, okay, to sit together and to decide to create this national association. So Irena is part of this, Nicola and Dora, as I see here. We are actually making now the administration stuff about it. Also, Room 100 apply for one funding that we will know in 20 days. That is a national platform for contemporary circus art. Also, the same persons are involved. There is 7 organizations. So Irena Association, Circorama and Circus Collective are part of it. It is a platform network, but there is also part of advocacy towards Ministry of Culture, and we are going to give residency support and presentation opportunities for regional artists. A part of that, Room 100 has a new Creative Europe project that just started 2 months ago. It is called Circus Without Circus, and it is a small project. There is four partners. Circus Centrum from Ghent is a lead partner. There is Metropolis from Denmark and Le Ménage from France together with us. It's a project that connects circus artists and any other kind of artists. We are doing duos, and these duos are having a residency support through 3 years to actually explore. So we are not focused on the final project. We are focused on the creation and experiment in contemporary circus arts. There is an open call that is online at the moment, and it's open until December 3rd. This is one way that Room 100 is trying to give really an opportunity for the local artists to get inspired, to educate themselves, to gain more visibility, and to actually travel around as much as possible now in these new realities. And another personal project of mine is actually creating a platform, but in the Mediterranean region. So we have an idea at this moment to connect Spanish, Portugal, Slovenian and Croatian and Italian organizations that are working in contemporary circus, and also to give to have this platform to exchange knowledge and performing opportunities and residency between these countries. Circorama is also involved in this project, and I hopefully in next year we are going to start with some smaller projects, and in 2022 we are going to have a nice budget for it. So that's it.
Thank you, Antonia. We stay in Croatia, and let's see what Nicola has to say. Hi, Nicola. I would like to talk with you. You are an artist, but also an organizer. And in last month, there was a few possibilities to tour in Croatia with your new creation, Horror House. So you were in Pula, in Split, and now you are performing again in Zagreb. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience? How was to create these shows and then to travel around it?
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Nikola Mijatovic from Circorama Association and also part of the Circo Balkana crew. Yeah, in beginning of 2020 we came out with a new creation. We have premiere just 1 week before the lockdown, and somehow we create a show for just 7 person in the public, and it was very very funny because after the lockdown, it's everything is started with a small number of the public, and we was a very good show for these numbers of public, yeah. And we came out with the show with the premiere, and after this it was lockdown, and we think that we never play again this show, especially because it's very complicated for the transport. It have a lot of caravans inside and a lot of equipment. But somehow after lockdown, it happened something that our colleagues from Split and from Pula decided to organizing our show, and we play and we have residency in the Split also. And after this, we play again in Zagreb, and it was something which is very, very nice for us. That in this moment we play 23 times this year. It's never happened for some our show that in 1 year we play a lot in 1 year. Now I'm just coming from rehearsal because we are prepared the show for the night of the circus, and tomorrow we are perform in Pogon Jedinstvo in Independent Culture Center for Independent Culture and Youth in Zagreb, and yeah, it was pretty strange this year, but also it give it to us a lot of new energy to work maybe more on our productions, how to say this, than usual.
Thank you, Nicola. Yes, because I know, I mean, your show was also in Pula, so I think it was a combination of luck that we used the time in summer where we could work on open spaces, and it was great to have then your shows that we could bring so you could perform. I would like also now to talk with Andre and Geo if they are here. Can you maybe start the video? Hello, Geo.
Hello.
Nice to see you. I would like to hear a little bit about the situation in Bulgaria. How was your situation with Mini Art Fest? Few words about it. You need to unmute yourself. You need to unmute.
Hello, I'm Geo Kalev. I'm provider the Mini Art Festival. It's a contemporary circus festival here in Sofia, Bulgaria. I'm happy to see all these people here in my phone, and thank you for invitation. And now I have a very good news from my country from yesterday, but I don't will beginning with this. I will say how Mini Art Festival, the 10th edition, was presenting in Sofia in very dramatic situation. We have problems with the permissions for the circus tent, but after the support of from support, we changed the location and we present exactly the program seconds by seconds. And in that program, we including the instable, and for the Bulgarian people, for Bulgarians, was amazing to watch this French performance, and also very nice words we received from the ambassador of France here in Sofia, and was very, very, very cute, and thank you so much about this power. And after that, the festival was continuing with this our big goal actually this year was about the one bridge between our organization and the Circus Ivanov. This is one of the biggest traditional circuses in Sofia, and actually we present our festival in the tent of this traditional circus. And was very nice. These people, they watch contemporary circus for first time in his lives. They was a little bit shocked how it's possible to exist contemporary circus, but actually everybody was happy about this step so in front in the future. And now we close the festival. We have around 50% of the audience into the tent. We present very nice concerts and so much circus workshops with so much kids, but we play with fear of people because the COVID situation, it's a COVID situation. And now yesterday we receive the official answer from the Ministry of Culture here in Sofia, and the first program for support of the circus contemporarily, it's one program, the next one is traditional, and the third one it's variete. And we received the first official governmental support, and I'm so happy to say for everybody here. And for the next year, we will have next festival, and for first time in our history, we will have every month payment about our work. And I'm so happy because for first time in the history of Bulgaria, the government recognize how we are citizens also, how the circus is art, and how actually our project is going much better and much better. And this is the situation. And now we will apply for 2 more projects. And this is about the digital adaptation of social project, social circus project of Mini-Art Foundation. It's called Circus at Home, или Цирк в къщи. Everybody are invited to watch our page. We are presenting the circus lessons, and we distribute these classes into for the gypsies and for people into the vulnerable groups like this. And actually, so different people and just people with interest, it's coming and watching these videos because they're about juggling, they're about how to train our bodies and this and that. And we are preparing for the next year to present our 2nd season. And I think this is for me. And I'm so happy to be in this kind of, from Sofia, to be part of the events of Circo Balkana. Yes.
Irena, can I speak? I would like just to say that I'm very glad that Mini Art Fest raised this visibility and this recognition from the governments in Bulgaria. And perhaps this project that you mentioned, the Circus at Home, could be something to be think on for the region, because it could be adapted to every country, and perhaps it is a way also to go toward the local authorities and the governments regarding the audience development. That's it. That's my comment.
Yeah. And thank you for support, especially for Stefan and Bruno, because for this first program for support of circus, actually we create a good communication with so many experts of the circus field, but mostly of them are based in the Circostrada network. And actually this kind of communication for me was so important, because mostly of the time from the last couple of years I was feeling so alone in this project, but I'm not feeling like alone now.
Thank you, Gail. I also think that observing last 2-3 years what in the region has been done, from the meeting in Zagreb we had on Circo Balkana Festival, I think 3 years ago, lots of things has been done in connecting all of our organizations in the region. And especially thanks to the Theatroscope program that we could tour last year with Ton Le Parlom. It was, I think that maybe somehow we managed to explain what contemporary circus is, and that this starts to be at least a little bit visible in our region on the performing arts scene. So it's I think some things are really happening, and we are on a good strain to go on. I would like also to hear a few words from Slovenia, from Andrej. Are you here, Andrej?
Yes, hello.
Hello.
I'm here, but I cannot start the video. I think you have to do that.
No, you have that icon, start video. Need to
when
mute.
I try, I get the message, you can't start your video because the host has stopped it.
Is it now okay?
Yes, now it's okay.
Okay.
No, unfortunately not. I still get the same message. So maybe you can try to figure it out. I will just go on audio.
Yes. I wanted to ask you about the Buffet Festival this year. How was the edition? I saw lots of nice program that was streamed online.
Yeah, well, we had to, I mean, I'm not actually an organizer of that festival. That's mostly my wife that did that. But yeah, I can still probably say a few words on behalf of it. Yeah, we had a lot of program, like mostly local program, but then we also had a few foreign companies coming. Some of them we were able to get here, and there was also Stefan Singh and Cristiana Casadio who came, but then there was a huge fear of COVID within the company, so they canceled their performance, unfortunately. So that was really unfortunate. We could not do anything about it, but still, yeah, the festival went along fine. There was one central venue to the festival, and it was well visited, and there was workshops and performances by local artists and so on. So yeah, I think we were lucky to pull it off.
And you're also an artist and you're performing. How did this situation influence on your work and possibilities to work?
Well, of course, there was lockdown from March till May, so I couldn't work then. But then from June to October, I actually had a lot of work, mostly in Slovenia. And yeah, so we also had a premiere in October, just like a day before the lockdown. We were still able to do that. And somehow I had a festival in Germany in October when the situation was really bad everywhere. And now we're back to lockdown as everywhere else. But yeah, I'm using this time now to work on a new show, on a duo with a colleague, and I'm also working on kind of an upgrade of an existing show. So I think so far I'm using the time really well. Even in March when there was lockdown, I liked my new life then. Like I felt it was really calm and I really enjoyed it. And of course there is an uncertainty about the future. But I'm used to it as an independent artist in a place like Slovenia, so it's nothing new for me. So I hope it doesn't last, of course.
Thank you, Andrej. One question now for all here present. Anyone can answer, but maybe Milan can open the talk about it, because we had yesterday and these days lots of talk about digital situation, how we can work towards that, and do we want to do that? Could it be a mean that we don't lose our audiences? Because I think in last 10 years, we really worked a lot on developing the audience here. And last month, we can see that it's really hard now again, and I'm somehow afraid that we will go few steps back in audience development. So there were some discussions about digital possibilities, and I know that Milan is not really for that. So we could talk a little bit about it, but of course, after Milan, everybody here are welcome to say a few words, what they think, how we can adapt to digital time.
Hello to everyone. I don't know what to say. I can speak from the two point of view, from an artist point of view, and also from an organizer point of view. So as Irena said, the last couple of years we put a big effort to get the public involved in watching and following contemporary circus programs, not only here in Serbia. When I'm saying this, I mean in all the region. And with this COVID situation, now it's very difficult to continue in the way we were doing it. So what are the next steps when everybody is going online? Everybody is proposing that all the shows can be streamed or just play the show, recorded show. So if this is the way to keep the public in touch with you and your programs, maybe yes, but from artist point of view, I see circus as an art that but that is very important to share the energy, to communicate in live with the public, and that's why circus this feeling and strength and risk in circus, which is common, no, it's important to share with the public in live. So my opinion as an artist is I would like that this don't go so far. I would like that this will finish soon, and that my default microphone. Do you hear me? Yes? No?
Yes.
More or less, huh? Yeah. Serbian computers. So I don't know. I would like that everything stops soon, that we can continue working like we were working before, because we are getting crazy with all the situation. We cannot perform, we cannot rehearse, we cannot travel, and this is why we are doing it. And if we have to continue everything online, I think this will be catastrophe for the circus scene, and not only for the circus, for all the art forms. So this is my opinion. If there is somebody else from this crew here can say, a bit the same. So yes, I don't know what the programmators also are thinking from the other festivals or the venues, how they think. So maybe we can take a round.
Thank you, Milan. Is there anybody else from the region who would like to share their thoughts about it? Nicola and Antonia. Nicola first.
I just want to tell you that in this moment we must be very, very focusing on the situation. If we are in the position that organizes something, we must react immediately. And this is maybe the biggest question, because if you're planning something on the long period, it's in this situation is very dangerous because it's sometimes is not happens. But if you try to go with the situation, it's everything is possible. And I want to tell that in this year we finally produce something for the local scene. We set up the tent in Zagreb and open for residencies for people who is local artist who want to play his show or work in progress and make also the show of his in Stable, in Rijeka, and do really a lot of things this year and give the place for the residency for Circus Next artist and a lot of things. And this only it's a question that if the artist wants to be present online or stream, me like organizer, I will do this. But if artists don't want, because we have also situation with one group who will perform in Saturday for Night of the Cirque, this is the only one group who told that he don't want to stream. And we are respect this, and we told, okay, no problem. We will move your show in the moment where it's possible that that you play for the live public, and this is it. We are going. I think that we must going with the situation.
Thank you, Nicola. Antonia?
I'm somewhere between Milan and Nicola about the online life. I think my opinion is really based because of this experience we have with the Ministry of Culture. All of us were part of this big European social fund projects that are called something culture in the center, something like that. Basically, it's cultural centers, and for 2 years we had to do all the projects and performances for free. So we were put in a situation to actually educate audience that art is free, and I'm completely opposite and I'm against this policy. So when we were there, and then in Croatia we have a new opportunity to go with this project with a new funding that is called Culture and Arts Online. Circorama, Circus Collective, and Ruban 100 were talking about applying, but we decided not to apply because it was the same rule that was put inside this application, and that is to do everything online and do it for free. So we decided not to apply because I don't believe and I don't think that art should be free. Like sport is not free. Nobody's going to for the football matches and like not paying the ticket. I also think there is other ways that we can stay connected with the audience and with the artists. And I don't think streaming live performances online for free is okay. I'm completely okay with the streaming of performances that can actually be streamed and it can be a really good experience for the audience, but for a ticket, for some small fee. So basically that's my opinion about doing it online. And from the perspective of a programmer that needs to decide who are we going to invite for the peculiar families and for the residency venue, it's really, really strange and really hard to actually watch performances only on a video footage, not be able to go and see it live. So I don't think that audience has a different experience like programmers have. I think it's really, really hard to actually enjoy in the same amount in the circus performances in live and online.
Thank you, Antonia. Anybody would like to comment more on this topic? If not, I would like also to ask here, yes, Catherine?
Sorry, I would like to just to comment saying that in France, the Ministry of Culture is encouraging artists to, encouraging venues and festivals to fund the artists, to finance artists that are giving the digital contents for festivals. And we are also in Teatroscope very aware regarding that and financing the visibility, the digital visibility when it's possible and when the artists are okay to do that. So it's a way to, I think that it's important regarding audience development, like you said, Irena, before, that not to lose the audience that you already built, and perhaps educational program through digital could be something very useful, because it's a way to continue connecting you with your audience, but not to leave your artistic contents to them. So it's a way in between that could be perhaps thought on. That's it.
Thank you. Here with us, we also is Christine, a producer, and I would also like to ask her, you are now here a few days. You could see that it's quite different situation here than in France, but also in this, let's say, new normal, or in this current situation we are living, how this influence on your work, on production, on touring. Do you have some advices for us that we could adapt to the Balkan region?
Hello everyone, so I introduce myself, Christine, and I'm working as a producer with the company Les Hommes Penchés, and I'm here with the show Instable with Nicolas. Is it better? Can you hear me? Okay. So about your question, in fact, I would like to say, first of all, thank you for everyone to hosted us for this tour in the Balkans since September until now here in Belgrade, because it's really, how can I say, in France, because of the lockdown, all the venues are closed and all the shows are cancelled. And the possibility to go on tour in this situation is really a relief. And I think that what I say, even there was a lot of difficulties here to find the money or to organize something for us, for the company, I mean, with the show, which is easy to travel, because we have that solution to build the set here in situ. So it is really great. And the flexibility of your festival, because we had so many exchanges before, and to find out what is the best for you and for us. And I think that, for example, in France, everything is organized a long time before. And it's like all the things is really, how do you say, there's no more flexibility. And whether for a company in France, sometimes it's really rude, this kind of programming shows, because of course it's a necessity, because we have the seasons and the venues, and you have to, to program the shows. But in a certain way here, how we make this tour, it was really, in a way, very pleasant, because everyone, we had to share our possibilities and to understand what is the best period and how we can go with the festival. So I want to thank all of the people who host Instable to make it exist, and it was really nice because the situation in France is really difficult. For example, for the company Les Empanchés and the show Unstable, we had the lockdown in March, April. And in France, in that period, normally, you contact the venues and you begin to program the show for the season 2021, 2022. And that time, because of lockdown, we have to postpone or to cancel the show. We are just all focused on it, and to negotiate it again, the contracts, because some venues paid and the others doesn't pay. All this mess, we didn't know how to survive, if the theaters pay or not paying, and how we pay the salaries, because all the period we had the chance to go on tour from March to June. And we had the chance in France because we call that activité partielle. It means that the government help the companies, the people, the salaries to have a salary. For the company, it's really terrible because, I mean, for 2021, we have no more tour, because the period where we're supposed to plan everything, it doesn't exist, because it just had to postpone and to find out how we're gonna work again. So, for the company, 2021 was supposed to go for an international tour, but because of this situation, now we don't know what we're gonna do. Just hope that the borders will be open again, and try to show this unstable.
Thank you, Christine. It reminds me a little bit on our situation on Balkans, because here we cannot really plan so much ahead. We don't have this kind of situation. Is there any questions somebody would like to ask? We have, I think, 5 more minutes before we finish the conference. Is there anything who would like to comment or add something or ask somebody something? Yes?
Something about this too, that we're living here. The situation is here, of course, is by the politics or the government. That you're now not recognized, and for the few years you will have more. We have some foundings for the festival. But what I should say, that I wanted to add, that it's really important to keep your energy and your motivations, and to make the circus grown up more. And with all of this mutualization and cooperation, it's really important. I think you can really make something great and big. So I just, with the experience we had with all the humans relationship and everything, it's the most thing that I wanted to add. The how do you say? Yes, the relationship with the people. All of you.
Thank you.
The circus grown up also, because with the trend and the energy.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else would like to comment, say something? Dora, Nives, Anya, the ones we didn't hear, Antea. Okay, I think following already for 15 or 20 years our story, I think that no matter COVID situation, we are in a good way. And last year's really proved that things are happening. Especially we could hear now that there are Also new projects, some Creative Europe projects finally entered in our countries and in our art. So it's, I think there will be many possibilities next years for the local artists here also to travel and go around when this situation comes down. What I think that it would be good that we meet live when this will be possible, and we make some kind of advocacy plan, because with the support of Circus Next and Circostrada and Teatroscope, I think now it's the real moment we could do some changes on the policy levels, and I believe that Antonia here will be the main actor in next years to do that. Thank you once again for being with us. I will take just one picture from the screen, so one big smile. Okay, thank you. Stay safe, stay good. You can, of course, take part in the European Circus Night online. We will stream the open stage from the festival. Also, there will be some program from Zagreb and Split. Thank you. See you, I hope soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, bye.
Bye.
Bye.